Here we have the new 2026 Chevrolet Equinox. This one comes in the RS trim level in mosaic black metallic. And then we have the black with red accented Evotex interior. Powertrain consists of a 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that's mated to a continuously variable transmission. As we come around to the front end here, we do get our LED headlamps along with our LED daytime running lights. I just have the running lights on now, and especially during the day, it just makes this thing really pop when you see it blacked out like this, and then you just have the light bars on top there. Just a great look. Down here to these wheels, these are 19-inch aluminum. Love the blacked out badging, passive keyless entry on the front. Power door lock controls, we get express down on all 4 doors and then one touch up and down on the driver's side. Power mirror controls are there. And then we have heated mirrors that also include the blind spot monitors. So power lift gate control is there. We can open and shut that. And then our electronic parking brake auto stop toggle. Hood release, pedals, manual tilt telescoping steering wheel. And then here's our power driver's seat with 2-way power lumbar support. But a big thanks to Chevrolet Buick GMC of Murfreesboro for allowing me to review this Equinox today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click on that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. But I have the seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" with longer legs, so sitting behind myself, pretty good space back here. Seat back pockets are on both sides, so I'm glad they didn't try and cheap out with that. USB-C ports are here. USB-C ports, excuse me, and then rear AC vents there. Little tiny pocket for storage there. And then if you fold this down, your bottle holders are in that middle seat. Really like these seats though, if you look at them. Love that design. Now this does include the optional panoramic sunroof, so that's what it looks like when the shade is all the way up. Grab handle here, LED reading lights, and then we can hang a shirt or a pair of pants there if we need to. Child locks, turn those on manually, lock, unlock on either side. Fuel fillers there. And then where I stopped the lift gate from popping up, that's why it's sitting like this. So let me just open that first. So underneath here, spare tire, and really good storage behind the second row. Top tethers are integrated on the back of the seats themselves. And then you have a 12-volt right there if you want to run an inverter or something like that. But LED tail lamps on the back. I'm so glad that we're not trying to cheap out here, but honestly, that's what makes this design so great. It just looks so good inside and out, this Equinox RS. Now as we come back around to the rear passenger side, I'm going to show you how these seats fold down. Pretty easy to do. Pull this lever here, and when the seats are up far enough, the seat will fold flat. And then pretty easy to just pull it back up and it locks back into place. Your lower latch anchors are hidden behind these covers here. And then front passenger seat, it's 4-way manual, so seat back can be adjusted there. Seat bottom by pulling this. And a nice storage area underneath the, what used to be the shifter there, and I'll show you what's going on there in a minute. Glove compartment, and I love that trim. Yeah, Chevy just does such a good job with the RS trim levels. It really is the sporty trim, and it just makes everything look so much better, specifically on the Equinoxes and the Traverses. But there's that 1.5 liter turbo 4-cylinder. I'm going to show off the turn signal so you can see how that looks. So there's the look from the back. And there's the look from the front. And we don't have any in the side mirrors. Let's go ahead and hop in here. I'm gonna cut the AC down, it's just a little hot outside. But nice leather wrap steering wheel here. Love the accents, the black and red, how it matches the seats, and then even the RS, how that matches as well. It's just a nice looking wheel. There's the horn. Now over here to the radio, Google Assistant system here. We do get AM, FM, XM along with Bluetooth audio. And then we also have wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto compatibility on top of the Google News app that we have there. Vehicle status can be pulled up here, and you can use the animation to pull certain things up or go to the sub menus right in there. Now with your headlamps, we don't have a button for that. It's in the screen, but you can really set it to auto 99% of the time, and you won't ever have to use this, but you can turn all the lights off there or turn them all the way on there. But I'll have it set to auto. Vehicle settings include teen driver, rear seat reminder, buckle to drive. And then you can go down to your system settings here, change your language or your units of measurement. For climate controls, we do get dual zone automatic climate, so we can turn the auto on there, adjust the fan speed here, temperature on either side. And then you also have those controls down here with your 3-stage heated seats. And I like that you have the option to either use buttons and knobs or the screen there. And you pretty much have everything, including the auto mode, that you can use either or. So it's nice, again, to have that functionality. And then you can also grab each, I guess, logo, if you will, by holding it, and then you can move it around like you would on your iPhone or something like that, which is also very helpful. Now you do get access to Google Maps. You do have to have the subscription to get the full feature usage, but it's a good system to have. And with a subscription, if you just want to use it when you're going cross country for 2 months, you can do that and then never use it again, which is nice. But traction control, the dome lights, the power window lockout, all of that is right in here along with the auto high beams. So that's how you turn those on or off. And you also have a garage door transmitter that's universal, and you can set that up there. Still have a volume knob here you can use to mute, which is nice. And then your backup camera's there, guidelines follow you as you turn the steering wheel. You can turn those parking sensors on or off, or those guidelines on or off. Nice storage area here while you have your phone plugged up with either USB-C or USB-A, but then you also have a wireless charging pad here. And you kind of got to look at where the shifter is now, but I'll show you here in a moment. But your drive mode knob is what's here. So snow and ice and normal is all you get here. Bottle holders, center console cubby space. You have that removable tray there. And then here's your panoramic roof. When the sunshade's back, you can tilt or slide, but I'll show you. That's a one-touch slide there. And then hit it a second time, and it goes back that far. So pretty nice. There's a look at the back seat from up here. I always love the function of being able to close the sunshade while you close the sunroof without having to do them one at a time. So love that. Sunglasses holder, hazards are right there, and then again those sunroof controls there. There's the vanity mirror. Back to the steering wheel. Intermittent wipers are right here. Rear wipers here. Fluid either side, then front fluid right there. Then your high beams. Now since the shifter is on the column, you hit the brake, pull for neutral, pulling up for reverse, pulling down for drive. Press this button on the side for park, and while you're in drive, you can put it into the low mode so you can use the limiter by going through the gears with the paddle shifters here. And it's not really gears because it's CVT, but kind of like rev points, I guess. Now behind the steering wheel on the left side, you can toggle your track list or radio station presets, and on the right side, volume up, volume down. Cruise controls here, we get adaptive standard, so you can turn that on or off there and hold this X to go between adaptive and regular. But then if you just tap it, it just cancels the cruise, and then you can set the speed here and the gap adjust there. Heated steering wheel toggle, mute, pull up your phone. This goes to your audio sources. and then you can use this kind of like a mouse, I guess. It's not the best way to describe it, but when applicable, going through the audio sources, you'll scroll through that. And then you can also use this to go through your gauge cluster views there. Push button start. Finally, here's the key fob with remote start. But next, let's go ahead and take this 2026 Chevy Equinox RS out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Equinox here, I test drove the Equinox with an 8-speed. I like how that drives just a bit better than with the CVT, but the CVT does give you that upfront grunt, I feel like, coming out of corners. Now with the RS trim level, I do like, just again, like I said in the walk around portion, just how nice and sleek everything looks, especially blacked out. It just makes this feel a lot fancier than it should be, especially for the price point. I'm going to try to give it a good pull here getting on the interstate. Luckily no one's behind me, so I'll even put it into the low mode and test out these paddle shifters. Here we go. So a pretty good pull, honestly. One of the better pulls I've had with the CVT. Very impressive. So I have the adaptive cruise on now, so it's going to keep that safe distance between myself and the vehicle in front of me. And it just makes it that much easier to drive, specifically in rush hour traffic like this. Whereas if a car gets in front of you and doesn't want to speed up, it's not slamming on the brakes for you. It's just kind of slowing you down easily without getting your blood pressure up. So it's just, that's why I think adaptive cruise control is so important, just because it just keeps, I guess it keeps stress levels down. It kind of helps to do that. It's still not like the end all be all, but it does assist in that way. Now I do want to give one more thanks to Chevrolet Buick GMC of Murfreesboro for allowing me to review this Equinox today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click on that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. Now I do think the ride quality is fantastic for a vehicle like this. Very smooth, not necessarily floating down the road, but the ride quality was very good. And the driving dynamics for a vehicle like this, I just feel like you get very good when it comes to everything involved with this vehicle. From the driving dynamics, performance could be better, but if you drive it right, like you should with the CVT, you can get the best out of it. It just takes a little practice. But for the money, I don't want to say it's necessarily cheap, but I think it's a relatively solid deal here, especially when you think about things that don't necessarily have a price point or a price tag you can put on them. The design of the Equinox for the 26 model, I think is fantastic. It's probably the best looking small SUV out there. And I'm talking about comparing to the RAV4, to the CR-V, even the Tucson. I just think it's got the looks. It really does compared to everything else on the market in this segment. Now, if you're comparing it to an Audi or Mercedes, I don't really count those in this segment, but I mean, American, Korean, and Japanese, which is, you know, most of the cost-conscious buyers, that's what they go to. I think the Equinox has it in terms of the, not only exterior design, but the interior as well, just with how nice it's put together. And I mean, the sound acoustics in here are fantastic. It's super windy. There's a storm coming in, and I can hear the wind being almost diminished by the insulation here. Very good job with this Equinox, just all around. And keep in mind, this is on the RS with 19-inch wheels. But in terms of final thoughts on the vehicle, it's solid, I think. If you're in the market for something like this and you want to compare it to the RAV4 or the CR-V, I think you'll be pretty pleased because the powertrains are all pretty much the same unless you're going to the hybrid CR-V or the hybrid RAV4. Because the 1.5 turbo basically compares to the 1.5 turbo in the CR-V, and then the 2.5 naturally aspirated 4-cylinder in the RAV4. But especially in this RS, it just feels pretty sporty and a little luxurious as well, just with the thicker padding on the steering wheel, the heat, and then just having the heated seats as well. This just feels very premium. And with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2026 Chevy Equinox RS.